Survivor Series WarGames takes place this Saturday in San Diego, California at Petco Park, and we officially have 4 matches listed. A show like this is obviously going to have a small card because 2 of the matches are going to be very long, and those of course are the 2 WarGames, both the men's and the women's. And we'll start with the match that I think is going to start the show every year since they've been doing both men and women's war games. The women always start the show, and this year will be no different. We have the women's war game match. We have on one team, I don't think they have official team names. We can just call them the faces and the heels. On the face side, we have AJ Lee, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley. They take on Asuka, Becky Lynch, Kairi Sane, Lash Legend, and Nia Jax. So, I want to bring up last year. They had Nia Jax, for whatever reason, start the match, and she just killed the match. She had one of the worst performances ever in a WarGames match. She ruined the match last year. They had her start at the beginning, and she was so awful in it, and no one could interact with her. She was like the worst worker, and they had her start. So, hopefully they have Nia come out at the end, and maybe it'd be smart to have Lash come out near the end. Mainly because Lash doesn't have as much experience, especially on the main roster, and she's bigger, so it makes more sense for her to come out later. She'd be more fresh. I would start with either Asuka or Kairi. Becky's not going to start. I think that's less likely. But or one of those 3 should start. For the woman, I think it would make sense for Io Sky to start. That would be most logical. Maybe Rhea probably comes out last because she's the biggest star. Or they could, actually more likely AJ Lee comes out last because it's only her second match back. So maybe AJ comes out last. But as for who wins, I think the faces are going to win this match. It's kind of in some ways an all-star babyface team. AJ Lee, big star, she came back. Alexa Bliss, big star, fans love her. Charlotte Flair, we all know her resume. Io Sky, probably the best overall worker in the company, and Rhea Ripley, one of the biggest stars in the entire company, both female or male. So there's so much star power. It's kind of like an all-star team. I think the faces are going to win this match. Who gets pinned? I don't think Nia gets pinned. I don't think Lash gets pinned. Becky certainly isn't getting pinned. So who's going to get pinned? It's either going to be Asuka or Kairi Sane. Most likely, since Asuka is the leader of the group, Kairi Sane's going to get pinned, and Asuka is going to yell Kairi on Raw the next or 2 nights after the show. So it makes all the sense in the world for Kairi Sane to take the pin. And who's going to get the win for her team? I think Rhea Ripley does. I think Rhea will hit a riptide on Kairi Sane, maybe through a table or something, maybe off the top rope through a table. That'll be some riptide, and she will pin Kairi Sane and get the win for her team. So I'm going with the faces. AJ, Alexa, Charlotte, Io, Rhea. Next, we have what I think is the lock of the night. The Intercontinental Championship is on the line as John Cena, in his second last match of all time, his final PLE of all time, this is his last PLE, pay-per-view / PLE, whatever you want to call it, it's his final one. And he defends his Intercontinental Championship that he won in Boston a few weeks ago from Dominik Mysterio in a rematch. John Cena, Dominik Mysterio, who's going to win and who's going to be the Intercontinental Champion coming out of the show? I think it's obvious Dominik Mysterio will win this match. The only question is how. I don't think he'll pin John Cena clean. I don't think there's a possibility of that happening. I think it would be a fucking travesty if he does. People love Dom. I'm not so high on him. He just doesn't have an appealing look to me. He looks like some fat guy. I don't know. I don't see him like as a wrestler. I like him as a comedy act. I don't like him being pushed past a certain level where he just is. It's hard for me to take him seriously in the ring. He just doesn't have that look. He doesn't look like, he looks like some fat guy, seriously, but he's incredibly entertaining. He's a good comedy character. I like seeing him on the show. I just don't agree with him being John Cena's second last opponent and beating John Cena on a PLE. I don't agree with that. I believe he's going to win this match. How he does it, so I'm sure Finn Balor and JD McDonough will get involved. Judgment Day will get involved. I mean, I don't know if we'll see Raquel Rodriguez or Roxanne Perez on the show, but I think there's a possibility we see a female return to the Judgment Day, and that's Liv Morgan. I don't know if she will, but I think there's a very strong possibility that Liv Morgan makes her return this match, costs John Cena a match, and allows Dominik Mysterio to retain the Intercontinental to regain the Intercontinental Championship. So I think Dominik Mysterio will win, and obviously the win will not be clean. Next, we go to the Women's World Championship on the line as Stephanie Vaquer defends her title against Nikki Bella. Yes, you heard that right. So Nikki turned on Stephanie on the Boston Raw show a few weeks ago, and the whole storyline, I think she attacked her again actually on the MSG show. That would be a week ago now. This is being recorded on Wednesday, so I think, she's gotten really the best of Stephanie Vaquer. Stephanie has done nothing. Here's the thing that scares me. I'll just say this before I make my official prediction. What if Brie Bella does come back? On the Bella's podcast, Brie wants to come back. She's talking about making her return. She might come back, and it's Nikki. Nikki's obviously the much bigger star than Brie ever was. But, they want to bring back the Bellas, maybe. Maybe we see twin magic here. I know the Bellas don't look anything alike anymore. That's been obvious. But, when they first came in, they looked exactly alike. They looked as much alike as the Usos used to do when they first came in. So, I think we might see it. I'm saying it probably doesn't happen, though. I don't think Brie's coming in here. I think Stephanie Vaquer will pin Nikki Bella 1, 2, 3. Stephanie Vaquer retains the Women's World Championship on the show, and she continues her reign into the next year. So I'm picking Stephanie Vaquer to win. I really don't want Nikki to win. I don't have high expectations for this match. Nikki hasn't been that bad. The match with Becky was bad at the Clash in Paris show, but I think this might be all right. And I think Stephanie will win the match and retain her Women's World Championship. I think there's going to be a massive shitstorm online if Nikki ends up winning this match, and especially if Brie helps her. I hope not, but I do think Stephanie will end up retaining. Now, we go to our main events of the evening. It's the men's WarGames match. We have on one side, the face side, the All-Star men's team. We have CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and the Tribal Chief, the original Tribal Chief, the OTC, Roman Reigns. So you have two world champions, both the two main world champions, on the same team in this match. Now, I do think it sucks that John Cena is not in this match. If it was up to me, what I would do is, it's kind of too late now. I would have them take out Jimmy Uso, during the show, after the first match or something, or maybe on the countdown show, have them take out Jimmy Uso. Now, they need a new partner. They need a fifth member. Then comes John Cena. Cena is the final participant. He comes in, helps the faces win. Maybe he pins Brock Lesnar 1, 2, 3, gets his revenge for the WrestlePalooza disaster, and that would be an awesome moment. Everyone would cheer. Everyone would love it. That would be a great way to end the show. Everyone would praise it. It would be a nice moment before Cena's final retirement against Gunther, which I think is probably losing, but that would be great. I don't think that's happening. I think John's just going to lose, and that's going to be it. I think Jimmy Uso will end up being in this match, and here's the reason why I don't think they're having John Cena in this match. Since they have him losing to Dom, I don't think they want to have him on the losing team. I don't think they want to have him, just be a part of a team that loses. I think if they were going to win, he would likely be part of the team, as he's never been in WarGames. So it'd be great to see him because he's never been in this match. Hey, his second last match, he gets a part of a match that he's never been in, and that would be pretty damn cool. You don't think of John Cena and WarGames in the same sentence, but we're not getting that. I think the reason is, as I said, they're not winning, and that kind of gives my predictions. I am predicting the team of Brock Lesnar, who just slipped last week on Raw. Hopefully he doesn't slip again at Survivor Series. But Brock Lesnar, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul with Paul Heyman in their corner. The heel team, the Vision, whatever you want to call them, I think they will win this match. I don't think they're going to have Brock Lesnar come back in the second match just to lose. I don't think they're going to have Drew lose again. Wouldn't surprise me if Drew pinned Cody. That could happen. Most likely Jimmy Uso gets pinned by Brock Lesnar. That would make the most sense. Or maybe Braun Breaker. That would probably happen. But if I were booking it and the heels were going to win, I would have Drew pin Cody. So then eventually they can do the last match and Drew finally beats him. Which Drew needs to do. Maybe, I don't know if that happens at the Rumble. I don't know. But Drew definitely needs to win that belt from Cody. I think the heels are definitely going to win this match. I think they'll win. Is it possible the faces win? Of course it is, but I think it's just more likely that the heels end up winning this match at Survivor Series. I would have had John Cena in this match. Not going to do it. No point in complaining about it. It's not going to happen now, but it's just, if it's up to me, I would have Cena in this match. But at Survivor Series this Saturday, Survivor Series WarGames, 4 matches for the show. I do think it could be a good show. I think it could. I think if both WarGames deliver, it'll be a good show. It's kind of like the Rumble. If the two main Rumbles deliver, the women's and men's, it's a good Rumble. It's a good show. If the two main WarGames matches deliver for Survivor Series, it's a good show. So if they do deliver, I think they will. It's hard not to because there's so much talent in both of them. There's so many big names. And I don't have much expectations for the other two matches, the Cena Mysterio match and then the Vaquer Nikki Bella match, but we'll see what happens on the show. And Survivor Series, hopefully we get a good show this Saturday in San Diego. So we'll see what happens. And as I said, this is officially John Cena's last PLE.